In today's video, we are making a green chili chicken soup with mini wontons filled with chicken and cilantro. This recipe was easy to put together and it is definitely a crowd favorite. We are just gonna get started by cutting up our vegetables. So I have 1 shallot, 4 cloves of garlic, 2 bunches of radishes, or you can use 1 russet potato, 1 poblano pepper, and 1 jalapeno pepper with the seeds. So funny story about these shallots is the recipe actually calls for scallions, and I may have misunderstood what that was, and it's literally just green onions, and my husband said I cannot find scallions at the store like whatsoever. And so I sent him back to the store the next day and he texted me and he's like, okay, how many of these shallots do you need? And I was like, oh, I don't know, get 5. Well, he comes home, I'm reading the instructions for the recipe, and I realized that it said scallions and not shallots. So yeah, make sure you read your recipes, especially if you're gonna send your husband to the store. For our radishes, since we won't be using these just yet, we have to cook all of our vegetables and stuff first. I do have a bowl of water that I will be putting in the radishes once they are cut down. That way that they don't turn brown or anything. For our chicken, I have 3 large chicken breasts that I went ahead and just cut everything off of already. We're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and ½ a teaspoon of salt. We're just gonna mix all of our seasonings and our chicken together. Into our Ninja on the sear/saute setting, I'm gonna turn it on to a medium-high heat. Hit start, and I'm gonna let 1 tablespoon of butter melt down. Once our butter is melted down, we are gonna add our chicken breasts in, and we are not gonna fully cook these chicken breasts. We just wanna get a nice sear and color on each side, so maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we are gonna be pressure cooking it. You could definitely do this on the stovetop if you would like, but I just feel like cooking it in my Ninja and then pressure cooking it, it makes it a lot juicier when it comes to shredding up the chicken. Now that our chicken has a nice color on both sides, we are actually gonna be removing it. I went ahead and washed my bowl so we can set this to the side. And into the bottom of the Ninja, you can either do just plain water or chicken broth. I usually do chicken broth because I have it in my fridge already. Now my Ninja did come with this wire rack, so we are gonna be placing that right there on the bottom. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the broth in there since these chicken breasts seem to be pretty thick. Okay, so about a cup's worth. Onto our trivet, we are just gonna add our chicken breasts right back on. For our settings, we're gonna turn our Ninja back on, hit pressure, high, and we are gonna cook this for 5 minutes, and we are gonna let it naturally release for 8. So we will place our pressure lid right on top, go ahead and hit start, and you wanna make sure that your little knobby thing is turned to the left side. This red button will push up whenever it is ready. While our chicken is cooking, we're gonna get started on our soup. So I have 3 tablespoons of butter, and you need 3 tablespoons of olive oil, but all I have is the Pam, so I'm just gonna spray, that looks like a good amount in there. Just gonna let this melt down and then add in our vegetables. Once our butter is melted, we are gonna add in our pepper mixture with a generous pinch of salt and pepper. Stir this for about 5 minutes until everything is cooked down. Now the original recipe does call for 1 stalk of celery, but I did not realize that my celery went bad and my husband threw it away. So if you're gonna make this recipe, that is another vegetable that you will be adding into this soup. Our chicken just got done cooking for those 5 minutes. Now you will see that the time will go up, and we are gonna let this sit for, I usually do 8 minutes, but last time I did it, it seemed to dry out a little bit. So I'm gonna go for about 7 minutes this time and then check it, and we are gonna shred it with just 2 forks. After about 5 minutes, we're gonna add in our radishes. And 1 cup of green chilies. We're gonna stir this all together. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit, and we are gonna cook this until our radishes or potato is translucent. After 7 minutes, we went ahead and switched it to the right side. The steam that comes out is pretty hot, so just be cautious of that. And you know that it will be completely done whenever you can release the lid. Yeah. All right. Our chicken is fully cooked. Go ahead and open that up. You guys can see all that steam coming out, but the chicken is nice and cooked. Now I have used my KitchenAid to shred the chicken up in the past, but I don't feel like getting that all out tonight. And this chicken is so juicy that you can just shred it with 2 forks. I will need the liquid, so don't pour this out, because since this will be sitting for just a little bit, I will be adding this liquid on top of this chicken so that it doesn't dry out. Now that our chicken is shredded up, I'm gonna add in some of the chicken broth liquid. Mix that around, and then we are just gonna place this to the side and get back to our vegetables. Into our vegetable mixture, we are gonna be adding 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We just wanna stir this around, making sure that everything is evenly coated. While this is mixing together, I'm warming up 32 ounces of chicken stock. I'm using chicken broth because that's what I have, and again, I need to get it out of my fridge. Alrighty, we are gonna pour and stir a little bit at a time. I'm gonna turn my heat down to about a medium to a low heat. Making sure that's nothing is stuck to the bottom. Go ahead and add it completely in. We are gonna very carefully add in our chicken that we've just shredded up. Now there are a couple pieces that aren't fully shredded, but that is fine. I'll just kind of scrape them apart. Now at this point, this is where you would have added in the scallions and the cilantro, but I also forgot to get the cilantro. That is why we are using these mini wontons. I got these at Costco. I absolutely love these. I usually eat them in my ramen, but I felt like this would be a good recipe to add them into. So before we add those in there, we are gonna turn the heat up and let this boil for about 5 minutes so that everything can thicken up. Now we are gonna add in 1 cup worth of the mini wontons. Since those wontons are basically fully cooked, they only need about 1 minute to 2 minutes to cook into the soup, and I don't want to overcook those. Now I will be leaving the original recipe that I took inspiration from down below, and in that recipe they have you making your own dumplings, but I feel like that was a little above my experience level, so these mini wontons worked out perfectly. All right, it is hot, that steam is coming off. Let's see, let's get some of that radish and the chicken. The spice level on this is over the top. The combination between the jalapeno, the green chilies, and the cilantro from the wontons is delicious. If you don't like a lot of heat, I would recommend cutting back on the spices that we added to the chicken. Substituting the radish for the potato, I don't feel like it made a whole lot of difference. Honestly, I don't think I would have liked the potato in this because I liked the crunch that the radish gives to this dish. But it is so good. There is a lot left over, so we will definitely have lunch tomorrow. If you need some more dinner ideas, check out this video here of my garlic overload burger. Man, was that one good, and I will catch you guys there.